Okay. Okay. I gotta check the audio. Check. Yep, sounds good. Refresh that. Yo, hi Shadow Reaper, how's it going? Today's gonna be exciting. If I can, okay, there we go. Okay, we got an exciting day today, cause guess what today is? It is the 16th of August, which means, oh, and Appleman too, hello. Okay, everybody gotta get excited because today is the GMTK Game Jam release date. It's in 46 minutes from now, and I am excited. And if you're wondering why I'm starting 46 minutes before it actually starts, it's because I want to kind of give some time for people to come in, show some people what Gamemaker is all about and stuff, and tell people why this is exciting. But first, since this is, I gotta make sure everything's working properly. Yeah, job interview. Oh yeah, how'd your job interview go? That go well? Yeah, did you get the job? I forgot, what job were you angling for again? Okay, just had to send that. Okay, me, yeah, I have to like. You're gonna be hearing a lot of that today. My keyboard, I'm gonna be typing fast. Oh, I have to fix my Twitch category because it was wrong. For some reason, Restream does not have the category for game development. Oh, this is completely wrong. Okay, let me fix my stream. This is completely wrong. Okay, how do I fix this? And why is the Apple TV thing still here? I don't want an Apple TV. Okay. What? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Yeah. I don't need that. It's Stream Manager, and then wait, someone. Oh, that was multiple weeks ago. Wait. So wait, how to edit info? Right. This is wrong. Okay, how do I? Okay, we're not streaming DDLC anymore. We are streaming GMTK 2024. Let's put that in there. Gamemaker Studio 2. There we go. This is the wrong category. It's game development. No element. There we go. There we go. There we go. Actually correct stuff. You love to see it. Okay. So, first things first, we have oh, what did I do to my no? Hold on, wait. Microphone, don't. I somehow knocked my microphone out of its stand. Okay, that. Oh, whoops. Okay, we're back. Yeah. What game have you made? Here, yeah, let's go over the last two jams and how I did on those, because I participated in this last year and the year before. So, GX Games. And they are both on gx.games for you to play, so if I can pull them up, that's not where it is. AI. You want to have a few minutes before launch? You want to drop before... Oh, lunch. Well, hi. Yeah, I for some reason I read that at launch, and I'm like, what, are you like on a plane or something? But okay. So this was the first year that I did, was this game. Here, I'll show you guys. So this was Dice Head, my... Oh gosh, that's loud. So this was, this year the theme was like roll of the dice or something, and I was very bad at, or I was not as good as I am now. But it's like, one thing, my strong suit though is 100% definitely GUI. I made like a pretty good GUI, a menu thing here. But it's like, you kind of like run around in a field and you shoot like bullets at enemies. This is the game. And it's got like dice, item thing. Okay, can I stop getting this item? This item sucks. Hello. Oh my gosh, my luck is so bad. Where are the there we go. This is my favorite one, the giant explosion thing. Look at that. Explosion. What's the theme? It's about to be announced in like 40 minutes, so... Where's it? Oh my god. Can I get the good one? Okay, whatever. That was unlucky. Oh my gosh. Can I get the... No. 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 It's a 1 in 3 chance, my gosh. No. 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 What? Am I going crazy? There we go. Okay. Yeah, this one's the best one by far. It's like a spread shot. The longer you hold, the more things you get. Yeah, pretty good. And then there's like multiple stages or whatever. You got these like walls or something. I don't know. You can just walk right over the walls, but they stop bullets or something. I don't know. That was my first jam. Wasn't that great. Second time. This was last year. Bit better. This is Embrace the Horde. I think the music for this is a lot better. Scott, cool. That it actually has an options menu. Good. I like making this. This is a cool options menu. So it's like a game where you like control a horde of zombies. This year's theme was roles reversed. So I'm like, okay, it's a zombie game, but you control the zombies instead of the people. Now that's a cool idea, and it fit the theme and stuff. So you just kind of use your zombies to infect people, and then you get DNA points. You can buy things like a speed upgrade, for example. Make this best game. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I just gotta put some clickbaity title, okay? I don't know what I don't even know what the theme is. Who knows? It's a little bit of hyperbole, but. Okay. As you can see, they start using weapons like these mines here, and they also start carrying like sticks and crowbars and stuff. Wait, you should add a dice pickup where it does like a roll system, like a slot machine, where it's like 1 equals nothing, 2 equals projectile speed. Oh, like buffs. Okay, okay. I think that was a bit too complicated at the time. Like, were I to do that again, because remember, I made that in 2 days. Both of these games I made in literally 2 days. This year we get 4 days to make a game instead of 2 days. So it's definitely going to be better than these. I'm gonna want those things. Come on. Good, good, good. Make them. Oh, I should have made a bigger radius. They're getting angry. Oh, okay. I might have lost. I think they're too powerful. Come on. Okay, okay. This game is like actually fun. Like, I've played this game a couple times. Also, the mines like do that explosion, the same exact explosion from the last game, which is kind of funny. I feel like the dice game would do a really good as a roguelike. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people did make roguelikes for that game. You can still see all of the submissions for the jam, and a lot of them are kind of roguelike-y, I guess. Like, you know, dicey dungeons. Oh, I have... Okay, I think you've seen enough of this game. You get how it works. There's also a really big map over this way, but... Okay. Yeah, and I still have them, so I guess I could, you know, make them better, and stuff. But, okay, let's see. Let me make sure I'm not losing track of time, because it would be a shame to miss this. But okay, let me one thing I wanted to do before we get started is I wanted to, go over, how Gamemaker Studio works. Because there were a couple people last time that were like, oh, I was interested in, you know, making games or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing the GMTK Gamejam next week or whatever. And they were like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I can, you know, do some demoing before the jam begins, you know, show out how it works. So I can just, like, you know, get started. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from kind of just right now just making a few basic things that I know I'm going to need anyway. Like, you know, some basic character movement. So regardless of what it is, we're going to have to make some stuff. So let me show you. So in Gamemaker Studio, you have sprites. And also, Gamemaker Studio, favorite game engine of all time. Gotta get that out there. Like, you know, this is really, in my opinion, excellent A tier, S tier game engine here. Change my mind. I don't think you will, because it's very good. So yeah, what you do to make things, you just right click the folder that it's in, create, and then create the thing that you want, like a sprite. So like, let's make like a player sprite here. And let's make it, this is a bit too big. Let's make it like 16 by 16. We can draw like little guy here or something. Yeah, something like this. There you go. There's like a little guy. Was Gamemaker used to make a Mori? No, it was not. It was made using RPG Maker. And I know I tried to mod it. I trust me. I know what Gamemaker games look like. Like, and Omori is not a Gamemaker game. Like, look at this. Like, if I go to Omori, This is not a Gamemaker game. What are all these DLLs doing in here? Why is it they're www? And I believe this is what a RPG Maker game looks like. Plus, off of what Google says is that it's an RPG Maker game, so I'm inclined to trust Google there. So like, okay, here's like a little guy or something, and let's give him a collision mask of like that. Maybe narrow it in a bit. There you go. That's a good collision mask. And then let's give him also a wall. Oh, I just realized I'm gonna want some music playing here. Have you heard of Rhythm Recall? Yes, I have. We don't have time for that today, but I could next, random do stuff stream. Rhythm Recall could be a fun thing to do. I'll just show you. I haven't. You believe me. Yeah. Omori I think is RPG Maker. Yeah, from what I've heard. Let me turn on the light so I'm not. There we go. Okay, excellent. So you can also make like walls. Let me make like a little wall here. Or let's make it like that, and then like add some brick pattern to it. There you go, and then like it's got some brickety brick bits on it. Okay, that's a pretty decent wall. Is Undertale Gamemaker? Yes, Undertale is definitely Gamemaker. Also, hi, Eros Dijik. I don't really know how you pronounce that, but yeah, welcome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Undertale definitely Gamemaker game. I know that for sure. Okay, so and then the next thing you do. Okay, or actually, let me add some music. It's really quiet in here. What can we do? I guess we can do, no, wait, should we do, oh no, what can we do? Undertale OST, we could do, though that has a tendency to get copyrighted though, so let's do the Omori, not Omori Eat Melon, Omori OST, there we go. Let's just, I've been doing this for the last few days, just let's shuffle this. Excellent. Now we got some music. Okay, so next step. Now that you have your sprites, you got your player, your wall, and all that good stuff. Next thing you want to do is create objects. Now objects are basically like your well, sprites are like images. That's basically what a sprite is. It's an image. It has a few extra properties like a center, like where the center of it is. What is this called? The origin. It also has a collision mask, which is like, what part of it the sprite is to be colliding with, and other attributes like that. But essentially, it's an image. That's what a sprite is. What an object is, an object has essentially all of the code in your. Let me put my mic in a better spot. An object simply has all the code. You can assign a sprite to an object, so this is what it defaultly will render as. So let's make this a player. Now you don't have to give it a sprite. You can just make it. You can have a more sophisticated drawing sequence through the draw event, but you can also just give it a sprite, and that will draw that. But we don't want to do that. Let's just create a step event. Now, what a step event is, this runs every frame of the game. This is the code of the object. So let's say something like x. And x. There's a lot of. Let's maybe explain what a variable is. So let me just create an event just so I can explain variables. A variable is essentially like a thing that you can define as a value. So like, let's say I want to make a variable called like movement speed, and I could set it to like 2 or something. Like, this alone doesn't mean anything at all. Like, I just set this random thing to be 2. So now whenever I type this somewhere else, like here, like wait, does that work? Oh, I didn't. That won't work because it's in the wrong event. But if I do something like this, it will draw, well, it will draw the letter 2. But like it will draw the number 2. But if I say like word, like if I do something like this, then this will draw that word. Like, so I can, you know, kind of have this be defined as a thing. Like, that's what a variable is. That's not the best explanation, but kind of, I've heard people use a metaphor of like a box, like a variable is like a box. So I created a box called movement speed, and the thing in the box is the word. But I could put in whatever I want. I could put in a true Boolean. I could put in an array of numbers. I could put in a function. Like I could put in like, something like that. Although that's not going to really work properly, but I guess you could do that. But let's say I want it to be like 2, a number 2. This would just draw a 2, but I could also put it like here. I could put movement speed here, and then like have it draw word. Like I could do this, and it will draw it at the coordinates 2, 0 instead of 0 or whatever I put in. And the reason you'd want to do that is because the great thing about variables is you can change them whenever you want. So I could just say movement speed equals 3 over here if I want to. Or I could say movement speed equals movement speed plus 1. So every single frame it becomes bigger. Though you wouldn't write it like this, you'd write it like that. Or like that. Like if you wanted to put any number there. So that's what how variables work. So let's say, let's keep movement speed, although that's kind of chunky. So I'm gonna say like SPD or something. The reason I'm not making it speed is because that's a build that means something specific, which is what I'm about to get to. So there are, in Gamemaker, there are built-in variables, so-called, which kind of come with the game that already means something. So movement speed, completely arbitrary, doesn't really mean anything. But if I say like X, that's a built-in variable. Some built-in variables just kind of are generally tied to the entire game. Some of them are read-only, some of them are write-only. That's kind of meaning you can, some of them you can edit, some of them, well, I don't want to, yeah, I know, I should focus on making my game, but they haven't even announced the theme yet, so I'm not too worried. I don't really want to start doing anything until the jam actually starts, so I'm just kind of giving some people a little crash course in Gamemaker. I'm not actually, I don't want to kind of like cheat by going too early, but it's not like I'm going to remove this project, like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, create a project just so I wouldn't have to create one, but it's not like trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm not, like, there's not very far I'm going to get in 30 minutes, so I'm trying to turn this more into an educational kind of thing instead of me trying to, like, rush ahead as far as I can, because I could make all of this in 5 minutes, trust me. Like, I've done this so many times. I'm trying to walk people through it, though. If that explains it. Okay. CS 101. Exactly. Computer science. It's not called CS 101, but it's called COS. Or no, it's called like, I don't know. I don't think it's called CS 101 though. But okay, so I was talking about built-in variables. So for example, X is a built-in variable that determines the X position of object player in the room. So, and I'll get to rooms later, but just, it's the position on the screen that it is. So an X of 0 is over here, an X of like 100 is here, X of like 1,000 over here. So that determines like where it is in to the left and right. Y is a bit tricky because the origin is up here. So a Y of 0 is at the top of the screen, and a Y of like 1,000 is like down here. So you got to keep that in mind, that a Y is opposite to what you'd think. It's not up and down, it's down and up, which is a little bit confusing to some people. So let's say every frame X increases by, that's what the plus equals mean, but I could also say X is equal to X plus SPD. Like, I could do that. That's a thing I could do. Now, a lot of people, what they do is like, okay, let me run the game. Let's see what happens. And then they're like, all right, let's go. And oh, it's just a black screen. Why is my player not appearing? Well, allow me to explain what a room is. So when the game starts up, it will create this room. Why is it this size? Let me make this. Okay, ignore this. I'm just going to quickly do some complicated stuff. Don't worry about this. What I'm just doing right now is modifying the window to be bigger. Okay, let me make sure that the window's actually the right. Okay, this is a nice big window. Okay, so what you have to do is drag the player into the room. You can't. Also, turn this grid to be 16 by 16. Okay, there we go. So now we have a player that's in the room. So you had to put him in the room. You can't just create a player and hope it to magically appear. You actually have to put it in the room. And a lot of people can. Okay, see, there you go. He moved away, just as we told him to do. He's increasing by 2 pixels to the right every time. Or how can you do that? It's like communicating with aliens. Wait, do what? What did I do? Okay, so let's make him do something more interesting, though. We don't want to just move to the right. We want him to move. Also, let me make this plus equals. We want him to move according to our controls. Like, we want to be able to move him, like, with WASD, for example, or arrow keys. So what you want to use for that is keyboard check function. So this will check whether a key on your keyboard is being pressed down. And let's do WASD. The way you use, if it's a key, or if it's like an arrow key, it's VK underscore like left, for example, or right, or like escape, or something like that. But if it's a letter, it's ORD, and then and then the letter. So like D would mean moving to the right. So now, whenever we press D, our character will move to the right. But we also want to be able to move them to the left with A, so let's put in an A there. And we don't want to just move one at a time, we want it to move a speed amount. So SPD times that. So we just put that all in parentheses, multiply it by speed. So now if we hold down D, we move to the right. If we hold down A, we move to the left. If we hold down them both, 1 minus 1 equals 0, so that nothing's going to happen. Oh, I should probably explain. This returns 1 if the key is down, and it returns 0 if the key isn't down. I should explain that. So 1, so our X position will increase by 1 if D is down, or decrease by 1 if A is down, or not change at all if neither are down or both are down. And then it will be multiplied by speed, so it will move 2 pixels every frame instead of 1 pixel every frame. Got it? Let's see if it works. It's A and D. There we go. And now if I press A and D, our character will move to the left and right. Easy as that. And we can change the speed to be something else. I would recommend keeping it a whole number, though, not making it weird fractional numbers. We can do the same, just copy this down, change the to Y, and then make it... because remember, down is positive, so S needs to be the positive one, and W needs to be the negative one. So when we hold down S, our Y position will increase. When we hold down W, our Y position will decrease. Because remember, 0, 0 is up here in the top corner. So this is increasing your Y value. Gotta remember that. Okay, we got about 20 more minutes. Anything else? So I could also mention, oh yeah, collision. So let's say we have a wall that we want to make. Let me just quickly make that. Let's make a wall. We don't actually need to do anything with the wall. We can just make it so we can put it in the room. Doesn't need to have any code. So let's put down some walls. And I'm holding down Alt and dragging. That's how you add a bunch of stuff in like that. I can do something like that. Yeah, that's how I made a point and click. So yeah, I know my way around Gamemaker. So now how you do the what was I? Oh wait. Yeah, Gamemaker is pretty simplistic to Unity. The only downside with Gamemaker is 3D is really hard. So if you're making 3D, I would not recommend Gamemaker. You can, but I wouldn't recommend it. Gamemaker is a very much 2D engine, but so I know I said it was an S tier engine, but if you're making 3D, it's not an S tier engine. I have to disclaimer. Yeah, for 2D though, it's very simple to make things. I mean, technically, if you really want to make it simple, you could just tick uses physics, and then boom, you have physics, but in my opinion, uses physics is absolutely garbage, so I would never recommend using that. Yeah, it's pretty simplistic, yeah. But also very powerful. You can make a lot of things. And actually, another thing that Gamemaker kind of has a limitation in is lagness, because you kind of have to, like, override a lot of a lot of Gamemaker systems, like their object-oriented system, like for creating walls and stuff, is not the most lag efficient, because you don't want to create 500 walls because all of these walls have collision. That's going to cause a lot of lag. So yeah, so I make my own collision system. I don't use Gamemaker's collision system because their systems are really laggy, like the default ones. Like collision, for example, is very laggy. But we don't want it. We don't need to give I didn't give the wall any code at all. It doesn't have any code. All I'm doing, or that you need to do, is when you move, like here, first you have to check to make sure there isn't a wall in the way. So for example, let's set this as its own variable. Let's say X move is that, and then we'll do the same for Y. Y move. So that's how much we want to move in a frame, or we're thinking about moving. So before we move that, before we do something like X plus equals X move, we first have to check using an if statement. An if statement is essentially, you know, it checks if a thing is true, and if it is, it runs what's in the brackets here. So we have something like if. What I normally use is collision rectangle, and our collision rectangle is going to be our what is it called? Gamemaker Studio did change a lot. I mean, yeah, it kind of did change. I mean, what version are you using? Also, welcome to the chat. You're a new person, so hello, Pain in Code. Pain in Code. That's a good name. What version are you used to? Like Gamemaker Studio 1 or oh no, because you said Gamemaker Studio 2. So what version are you used to? Because it, in my opinion, it hasn't changed a huge amount. At least since I started like 5 years ago. It's changed a bit. They've added a lot of new stuff, but overall, I don't think it's too different. Unless I'm just like not remembering how it used to be. I don't really remember. Oh, you switched to Godot. Okay, I heard Godot's pretty good though. I've not touched Godot, but I heard it's definitely a lot better at 3D. So, good stuff. Okay, wait. So what was I saying? Collision rectangle. So what you need for this is you need the 4 points of a rectangle to check in, and then you need an object to check for. In this case, we're checking for walls. So we want to take our bounding box. Remember this that we set before? This little our collision mask right here? That's what we want to use to check. So there's a built-in variable for that. It's bbox. And then you choose what side of the bbox. So let's take bbox left. and then X, and then we need the Y. So this X1 means the left side, then Y1 means the top. So B-box top, X2 means B-box right, and then B-box bottom. Then what object we're checking for? OBJ wall. I didn't capitalize it. And then precise, you don't need precise. If you have square boxes, you don't need precise. So I'm gonna say false. But if you have more complicated hitbox, you do have to turn on precise. More place, I see you're a man of culture. Yeah. I actually just played Omori like last week. So this is what's stuck in my head right now is the Omori playlist. So yep, that's what we got going. And it's, you know, it's pretty calm, it's pretty chill. Yeah, I have like 14 different streams on Omori. And more to come, probably. But I needed a break from that. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then not me, that would be true. This basically prevents you from colliding with yourself. So if you were colliding with the same object that's running it, not me just makes sure it doesn't just always return true when it's colliding with itself, because that would be kind of dumb. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. So this will check if we're colliding with something, but we want to make sure we're not colliding with something. So we put a little exclamation mark to say, do this thing if this is not the case. Oh wait, but that checks if we're colliding with a wall. We want to check if there's a wall in the direction we're about to move to. So let's just check plus X move, and plus X move. So if we move our left and right side, scoot it over a bit, are we colliding with something? No? Okay, move. If, and then do the same thing with Y. Oh, we don't need to... Nah, you know what, I'll keep it on 2 lines like that. But you can squeeze this onto 1 line, like so. You don't have to make it separate lines. So let me make that Y move. Scoot it there. And that's Y equals Y plus equals Y move. So now, if I play the game, you'll see that if I use WASD, I can now collide with these walls. Look at that. Oh, I'm drawing under the walls. Let me quickly fix that. The way you fix yourself being drawn under the walls is in the create event, you just set your depth to be like 0 or something. The depth is how deep into the room you're being drawn. You tried using Godot, but proceeded to curl up and cry because it made no sense, even with a bunch of tutorials. I might try out Godot, and not like for this jam or anything, but I mean, I feel like as a person who claims Gamemaker is the best engine, I feel like it would be foolish of me to not at least try Godot. And give it a fair chance. To see if I've been wrong this whole time and Gamemaker is actually not the best engine. There we go. So now we're successfully appearing above walls. Another cool trick that I want to show is the depth equals X position trick. Let me actually just show you. So there's a cool trick I like to use where, let me make a object called obj solid, or actually just call it obj parent. And I'm just going to create a event where, actually, let me make sure it happens at the beginning of the step, not at the end of the step, where the depth of the object is set to its Y position. Now, actually like plus 100, or plus like its Y position plus, no, it could be objects with a higher Y position would have a higher, no, negative Y. Or it's like 100 minus Y or something like that. And then you make all of your objects a child of that object. So that's what this is. If you can go to parent, give it a parent. And I'm going to make all of the objects a child of the parent. Now what you can do with this, now let me make the player like, or actually not the player, let me make the wall have not quite a full collision mask. Let's give it a slightly shorter collision mask. Like let's say half of the sprite is the collision mask, which kind of makes sense. Like it's kind of weird for the wall to be so big and chunky like that. Oh, I can squeeze in between the walls. Whoops, that's not intended. But a thing you can do with that is I'm in front of this wall, but I can squeeze in here. And as you can see, I'm in front of this wall, but behind this wall. And you may think, well, duh, of course you are. But if you think about it, how is this happening? How am I being drawn simultaneously behind one instance and not behind the other? And that's because that's the thing I just did. Your depth is set to how far down you are in the room. So I think that's a cool little trick. Godot has a cutting edge with 3D, which allows people to make 2.5D games. The 3D game and a built-in UI maker, something like Gamemaker lacks. That is very true. Making like, because if you want to go like 2D, like yes, you could of course just go full 2D, but there's also like a lot of advantage you get with 3D, which I do think Gamemaker does have. Like you can still make like 2.5D games with the whole like depth thing, and you can like sort of mess with the 3D. Like it has the 3D stuff there in case you really want to use it for like 2.5D and stuff. The UI is not great though for it. But for that reason, because 2.5D games exist, it means that there is a lot of even if you're making a completely 2D game, having a good 3D interface, even if you're not really going to make a 3D game, is still very useful. So that is a good thing to point out. Another thing I probably want to add is just real fast for any game I make is a cursor object. And make it persistent, which means it's always going to exist in any room that you go to. And I'll make a sprite for it in a second. And every single step, it will jump to where your cursor is. So x equals mouse x and y equals mouse y. So let me just grab a sprite. And that's a very convenient thing to have for like no, that's a bit weird. Okay, like that. There we go. There's like a little nice cursor. Also the background. I'll just make the background not black because a black background is kind of weird. So let's make it like a really dark gray instead. And then drag the cursor into the room. Oh, I didn't give it a... Drag it on the instances layer, not on the background layer. Okay, can I make this go away? I don't like this menu. There we go, scooty away. And then also another thing you can do, you can drag like that. That's the thing that a lot of people don't know about. So now when I go into the game, we have a cursor. There we go. Wow. And then I like to add like a key pressed letter R restart. Okay. No, it's a game restart. Yeah, game restart. I like to have this so I can quickly just restart everything by just pressing R. So that's a handy thing to have. True, you can still make 2.5D game through a 2D game, but something like Call of the Lamb is 3D game wrapped in 2.5D. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's 2D movement and stuff, like, and it's very flat-ish, but, like, I think Call of the Lamb is ultimately a very 3D game, or at least the rendering pipeline is very much 3D, and that's something that you would not want to do in Gamemaker. You definitely want, yeah, if I was going to make something Cult of the Lamb-like, in Gamemaker, I mean, it would be easier than making other kinds of 3D games, but it would be, yeah, very difficult. Okay, so let me pull up the premiere, just so it will alert me when it's in like literally 3 minutes. Can I see it on YouTube, please? Fine, I'll put it in my playlist. Why is my sound muted? Did I... Oh, I just turned down my volume. There we go. Watched later. Okay. I don't really want to be in my watch later playlist though, because there's some weird stuff in there. So let me remove that. There we go. Let's actually watch this by itself. There we go. 2 minutes. Cult of the Gamejam. Exactly crazy. Okay, so we're almost there. Almost there. I got all the stuff. And I'm making this all about. I mean, you guys can help me out. You guys can like, give me some. Why do your sentences end with commas? What sentences end with commas? When I'm coding? Wait, no, I'm not even using like semicolons or anything. You can use. Also, this cool thing about Gamemaker, you can use semicolons or you cannot use semicolons, which is a great feature because I hate like, oh no, you missed a semicolon. Now go back and find which line it is. Although it also if it crashes because of some stupid like, oh you didn't format it right, it will tell you exactly where the formatting issue is down in Stynex errors, which I have open right now. And it tells me right here, there's no Stynex errors detected. Amazing. I don't even have to go looking for the semicolon I missed, but that doesn't matter anyway, because you don't need semicolons. Though you can use them, though, if you want, to, like, squeeze all of your code on one line. Like, draw text. I can put a semicolon and then put another line, like, that. Like, look at that. Semicolon for the win. Crazy. That's obviously not formatted properly, but... Wait, Painting Code was ending his sentences with commas? Oh, he was. I guess it's, I guess that kind of makes sense, though, because it's like, if you're ending, like, a... I've never thought about that, but, like, to end a sentence in a comma, if it has, like, a period, like, the last word is a 2.5... Like, because 2.5 period looks really weird. So I guess it's a comma to like... I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting though. But look at... Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people here. How many people are watching? There's like 6,000 people here. But I got my... Where's my whiteboard at? Oh, it's right here. I got my whiteboard. We got a minute left. I got my whiteboard here. We're gonna be using it, I'm telling you. Let me get my marker. I got my marker. So I'm ready to start going ham on the ideas here. I might have to turn off my background blur if I end up using the whiteboard. Which I'm going to use it, so I'm definitely going to have to turn off my background blur because for some reason, this very white whiteboard does not want to be picked up. Despite the fact that it, like, is very much in the foreground, so, I don't know. But here we go. Get hype, people. We're about to find out what the theme is.
GMTK Gamejam 2024 begins right now. Your goal over the next 4 days is to make a game
4 days.
The following theme.
That's twice as many as last time.
Built to scale.
Built to scale?
Right. I want to see games that make size, scale, and dimensions
a key
part of the gameplay. I want to see games about teeny tiny microscopic.
What is this? Is this Spore? No, that's not Spore.
I want to see games about absolutely
Spore would definitely.
Cosmically massive things. I want to see games where big things become small. And
yeah, it could be like, Hungry Planet or whatever.
Interpret this theme,
is that what it's called? Hungry Planet? Or that. Oh, yeah, this.
As a jumping off point. So get creative.
Okay.
And surprise us. In this jam, you can work with who you want.
Okay. Be quiet. I got it. Built to scale. Got it. Write that down. I'm putting that on my stream so people know what's going on. Okay. Not the Amori warning. not that. Okay. Can I have just a piece of text? Okay. Theme, built to scale. Okay, ideas. We need ideas, people. Grey Goo Game. Yeah, Hungry... Wait, oh, World of Goo, yeah. Okay. Ideas, people, ideas. Oh, wait, I also should... now that the jam started, I should go in the Discord and promote my stream, because that's available now, right? Okay, if you don't know, this is the Discord. Everyone gonna promote the stream here. What's going on? GMTK Gamejam 2024. You literally, did you just miss the announcement? Oh my god. You just got announced. Built to scale is the theme for this year. So we're gonna make a game in 4 days. That's gonna be that. But hold on, I want to put my stream in here. Come on, Twitch. Where's the Twitch? Twitch. I don't have the tab open. Okay. Twitch.tv. Okay. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Tab open. Okay. Twitch. Okay. Okay. Here's my streams. Okay. What did I just paste in? Okay. I'm really gonna scramble here to get this in here before too much time passes, because these early moments are the time. YouTube.com/papergames. Where is it? Jam content. This is my studio. No. Wait, watch it. No, not the control panel. Where's the thing? Shareable link. Thank you. Okay, and then also my Discord link. Not there. The Discord link right here. There we go. Okay. Excellent. There we go. We're in their streams channel. I put it in the right channel, right? Stream vid server. Yeah. Excellent. I probably should have put a thumbnail, but whatever. Too late now. Okay, let's go, people. Time's a ticking. Built to scale is the theme. I'll just make it off of this random project that I have. There's literally, I could make this in 5 minutes, but let's go. Okay, built to scale. We need ideas. We need an idea. Whiteboard time. I'll just do a digital whiteboard. I don't need this physical thing. Who needs this? Whiteboard. Whiteboard. Is Microsoft Whiteboard? No, do I not have whiteboard? I'm going crazy. What? Paint. We're doing this in Paint. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing? Built to scale is the theme. What game? Oh my gosh, you can't see anything. Okay, there we go. What is built to scale? Okay, what kind of games are like this? What kind of games are like this? Size or numbers? Like, okay, well, I'm looking. I don't know, because I'm looking at a couple things. Built is a thing. Like, it could be a building game. Like, you know, we are making a city, or we're building like a goo structure, or we're assembling optional illusions. A what? Oh, you mean optical illusion? Okay. Like, yeah, we could also we focus more on the scale side of things. Like, in terms of scale, like superliminal. Liminal. Like that, like where you can like make things change size, like where it's about optical illusions. It's about, scale is not what it seems. Like that could be a thing that we do. It could also be scale in a way like Spore, or like he was saying, like big thing, or like what was that game where like you eat stuff, like Hungry Planet or something. Like Hungry Planet. Like that's a good, like these are good ideas of like, you go from something small, like you start small and then you get bigger, and then like over time, and it's like just a game that changes through scales. That could be a good idea, though that would obviously require more work because you'd have to make a bunch of different art that scales well. And the kind of art style that I do, like pixel art, like it doesn't zoom in and out very well. It would just kind of look weird. So I think this idea is off the table. Like this is not going to work unless like we come up with some really good idea. I think maybe it's a good idea to focus more on the build side. How can we make something that like is built? Like there's a couple options here. We could go like physics, like physics building, like where it's actually like about the construction like of stuff. Like that's an option. Or it could be like in terms of like city building, like we have like a grid of things and we have to like design how it's built and like put houses, connect that, like stuff like that, where we're constructing something more so. Also, now that I've drawn this, I feel like building, like we could also build something and we have to make it scalable, like for like this reminds me of like when you make, because everyone said like when I program stuff, you always have to think, okay, how can we build this to make it scalable, like in a way that's tileable, tangible. Also, I just realized, hi Poofy. I forgot to say hi. Like how can we make it in a way that's tileable, scalable, expandable, in a way that like for the future. So that could be a good thing, like, or idea. Like there's a game I saw where it's like you have to build like a molecule or something that like you can repeat it over and over and it will stick to itself properly. Or like a coding kind of game where it's like, you have to like program a thing and then it needs to work on a really big system or something. That also might work. So like systems. System scaling. Like that could be an idea for a game. These are not game titles, these are just ideas. So yeah, it could be physical building, could be system scaling. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of old Flash games that are coming to mind, like the molecule building game, or like there's a few random Flash games I've played that are like, that's what I'm thinking of, like, because Hungry Planet isn't really a big game, or I don't know. Yeah, we gotta think mechanical. What's a really good idea that we can turn into a game? I really like the idea of like system building. Like we build a system and the system needs to be tileable or something, or it's scalable. Or like, have you ever heard of like mini motorways, like that game, like where you build like roads, and the cool thing about mini motorways is you can't take things down after you build them. Well, you can, but it's really costly to do so because then traffic gets backed up and stuff. And it's like a game about designing roads. So you have to think about the future when you're building roads. Kind of just like roads in real life, actually. So you have to think about how you're building roads so that in the future, you need to build it to scale. So when it scales in the future and you have a bigger roadway, your bad decisions in the past when you had less resources and whatnot don't come back to bite you. See, that's a really cool idea. Though I don't like the idea of making it car thing, because I don't want to just duplicate many motorways. So maybe we could come up with a similar idea with a different, thing. Like, not cars, but, something else. Scale to size about a currency. Or like an economy. For me, I always jump to programming, because, or maybe, like, an electronic thing. Like, we're building, like, a computer or something, and we need to make sure that whatever we build at the beginning, or we're like designing like a factory floor or something, and the factory expands, there's new kind of like shipments of things, but you have to I like the idea of a factory building game. It's like you have a factory and the factory will expand, and it's kind of like, I don't know, Satisfactory or Factorio or whatever, but the big difference is you can't just easily take things down. Like when you build something, it's got to stay there. So you have to build stuff while planning for the future of how it's going to integrate into the future plans while still working by itself. I think that could be a good idea. Let's mark that down as like a big idea. Not final, but that's a jumping off idea that we could come back to. That's a terrible light bulb. Factory building. Can't destroy. I really need my writing tablet. This is me writing. I did not. Let me get my writing tablet out. Where is my writing tablet? Here it is. Didn't they do this with Zelda Breath of the Wild Dungeons? We do what? Create this like convoluted spreadsheet or thing. Okay. Oh, I don't have my software open. Give me that. Can I thank you? Okay. So, what can we do? So, factory building, you can't destroy your factory. So you have to like think about. Oh, that's way too sensitive. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Let me just flip this over. Okay, I'm spending a little bit too much time on this, but you know what? It's worth it. Built to scale stuff. Wait. Like, it's built to be... What, like... Why is my tablet just broken now? Okay, thanks. Okay. Did I say I wanted to save my work? No, I didn't. Oh, I clicked the X button. Maybe I should just use my mouse after all. Okay, wait. So yeah, you can't destroy your factory, so you have to do like, plan ahead. Okay, I can't use this thing. Okay, never mind. It's configured too badly for this. Okay. Square back to mouse. So you need to plan ahead. That's a good idea for scale. Why can't be destroyed? Because the idea, like, I was thinking this is like similar to. Also, hi, just anew, welcome. So wait. So the idea here is this is going to be like mini motorways. Like where the expansion just happens for you, and you need to like be able to, well, maybe not can't destroy, but like hard to destroy. Like hard to destroy. Like kind of like in mini motorways. where it's like, you know, the progress is just keeps going and you got to keep up with it, and you can't just tear down the entire thing and start over, because then you got no production. So or like it just, like, you want to discourage destroying. Like if you play many motor games, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, factory group similar to code function. Wait, factory group similar to code function. Oh, you mean like you can group your like, yeah, that's what it would not be doing. Also, I don't know what you mean by factory module as an in between reusable function. Like, a factory, like, yeah, okay, like a function, like you have a function and then there's stuff, and then you can kind of just duplicate the stuff. Like you know, and then like tile it. Like that's kind of the complete opposite of what this idea is. But that's also could be an idea. That's something I was talking about before, about like tileability. Kind of like, I don't remember what the name of the game is, but there's some like game where you have to like build molecules or whatever that can attach themselves over and over again. A group of factory machines that behaves like a function. Yeah, and then you kind of like, you know, or just like, oh, you just mean in like the general sense of like, here's a machine, you get something, like I put a 3 in and I get a 5 out or something, and then like it's a function, it does a thing, but it needs to like work on everything. Like it doesn't. That could be an interesting idea, is you need to make like a factory that no matter what comes in, the correct thing goes out. Like that could be an interesting idea. Like, make a +5 factory. You get 5s in and you got to output 10s. And if you get, you know, like that could be an interesting idea. I don't know if it's built to scale. Like that kind of goes with those like programming games of like you're making like a programming thing. Like what's a game like that? I can't think of it. I'm sure I can find it. It's like called like Desk Job something or something. Like where you like, you have to kind of like program this like thing, and it needs to work on basically a bunch of things, but you can only test it on a few. Like that could be good, but I don't think it really fits the theme that well. I think this fits the theme better, because like it just feels like too generic of an idea. It doesn't feel like it's an idea. I can put it down like that. That's an idea of like make like a function. Okay, no, this is some ad. Okay, like a function factory. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like that's kind of a descendant from this, like, you know, function factory, you build factory tileable. Like that's not a bad idea. I wonder if we can incorporate any of these things that we already have, like, because this already kind of works. It's like it starts small, grows over time. Like, you know, you start just making a lemonade stand and you end making like a giant warehouse or something, and you got to make sure that your business or your factory or whatever stays functional the whole way through, like while it's expanding. It's like you're building a skyscraper out of a shoebox. What would the molecule end goal be? I don't know. Like with these kind of games, like you don't always have to have like an end goal. Yeah, the molecule game was a really tiny game that was like literally like 5 minutes long, and it's just like, okay, here's like, you know, some stuff, and you gotta like make a molecule that is tileable. But it was more of just like it's a cool math game to teach you about how molecules work. It's not like, you know, a crazy idea or anything. I was just, you know, throwing out ideas. I don't think it's a great idea. I think we need more space. Let me zoom out. Zoom out. Okay. Can I not? Okay, paint is not working with me very well here. Okay, so we need... wait, won't that run out of resources? Wait, what do you mean? Like logic gates? Like, that was something I was thinking of. It's like more of like computer systems. Like, more... like, you're making a computer, and the computer has to like function Yeah, to make a big processor. Like, that's an idea. It seems a little bit too basic. Like that's a cool idea, but how do you turn that into a fun-to-play game? Like, is the problem. Because it would be fun. Like, it just doesn't feel like a Game Jam game. It feels like it's too big of an idea. So it's either it would be really boring and just like a random little playground thing, or it would be like a really humongous game that's like, you know, would take 10 years to complete, like, because you basically just have to make a computer from scratch. And there already are a lot of games like that already. Like, if I just look up like Logic Gate game, like there's already quite a few. Like Logic Gate game. Yeah, it just feels really but like NAND game. Like Logic World, that's a game that I've actually played. I don't know what that is. It looks like Portal or something. Oh yeah, of course, Scrap Mechanic, and then like there's another game I was saying that was like more of like this desk job game I'm trying to think of. I don't remember. It's like you work for some kind of like big company or something, and you have to like fix things and like by doing a bunch of Logic Gate stuff. I don't really remember. By drawing like wire connections. Like, cool idea for game, doesn't feel built to scale. Like, I feel like in terms of theme wise, not just like the actual mechanics and concepts, but in terms of theme, there's got to be a lot of like construction, building kind of like theming going on. I feel like that's definitely got to be. Oh, Shenzhen.io? Oh, is that one that follows that? Shenzhen.io. Is this like, and there's also like Shape.io, of course. But that kind of Shape.io has the big problem of basically when something isn't working, you just build a factory, and then when you're ready to deploy it, you deploy it, and then when you're done with it, you cut it off. But I was thinking something more along the lines of, okay, this doesn't work. Shenzhen. What is this? Okay, what is this? Wait, I've never seen this. This looks like something that would be up my alley. What the heck? Did they announce the theme? Yes, they did. The theme is built to scale. Oh, it's not visible. Let me put it here. There we go. Theme. That's the theme. Built to scale. So this is our idea board so far. Like, we could go with the scale idea, make something that grows over time. That's something that we could do. But I've been focusing more on the building idea of like, we have to build something and it has to like scale over time. So the best idea we got so far, factory building game that's sort of like mini motorways, where it's like production will scale over time. And if you want to make changes to your factory, you can't just demolish your factory and rebuild it. You have to, you know, build over time. Use a theme for a card game. Built to scale card game. I mean, you could make it like an actual like card stacking game. YouTube delay is crazy? Oh. I haven't dropped any frames, so I don't know. Maybe like 30 seconds delay. What is the game even about? Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. All we know is the theme is got to be built to scale. So, yeah, okay. Let's unless I want to figure out what this is about, though. This looks really interesting and potentially could lead somewhere. Solitaire? What is this? This looks really cool. Okay, this looks like a little bit too high above what I'm doing. I'm going to save this for later, though. Because that looks really interesting. That's assemble language. Yeah, I would think so. It's because YouTube items Twitch is crazy more today. Yeah, basically. Oh, we got like 9 people in here. Hello. Okay, so let's say we were making factory building. What kind of themes would we do? Because we're building something. What are we building, like, in the factory? That would be a big kind of idea. Like, what is the thing that we're building? You're a tiny person needing to push the pieces. Okay. I guess that's, like, scale a bit. Like, that's more of just, like... Because I think that's kind of a lame idea. Like, he kind of insinuated that in the thing of just, like, you're really small or you're really big. Like, that's obviously a thing you can do. Like, I might as well put that in. Like small, big, That looks weird. Small. Or big. Like, that's obviously a thing. But I feel like that's kind of boring. Like, just making yourself be smaller or bigger, like, just feels like a cop-out. Shape CO2, you build factory inside block, and then you come out. Wait, Shape CO2 came out? Wait. Shapes CO2. Hold up. Wait a minute. When did this come out? You combine them into blocks? Oh, so this is like tileable and stuff. Okay. Okay, I did not know this came out. Cool. Okay. This obviously could be a solution, is making it like this. Last month... but yeah, this seems like similar to this. But this seems more of a traditional factory building. And I think traditional factory building is good. But I think we need innovation. We need something unique, something big brain. This is big brain. I think this is the direction we should go. Is like, you build a factory, and it's like, you know, slowly getting bigger and bigger as you go. And like similar to mini motorways. And you have to kind of like make it like tower defense. Like roguelike tower defense, also a similar idea. Like, I've never played a lot of tower defense. But I think that tower defense is a lot more kind of what I'm trying to go for. I'm trying to make like a factory building game, but it's in the style of a tower defense game. Kind of like how Factorio is a little bit, but like less about but combining the actual tower defense aspects into the factory building, not just smashing them together. Building a nation. Yeah, that's also kind of a good idea. Build a nation. Not really sure what I would do, though. Like, that's a cool idea, but, like, what am I doing to build a nation? Because I really like the idea of, like, you're trying to keep up with something, like, as it's getting bigger. Okay, but now let's think. What are we building? Okay, we're factory building game. What are we building? Like, because it needs to feel something really build-y. Like, what's something that you really, like, you construct, you build, factory build. Like, what do you build on a factory? Because it's going to be weird to, like, just make it like, oh, you're building circuits and, like, metal plates and stuff. Like, that feels lame. Like, it's got to be something cool, like, and, like, a gun factory. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know a lot about how guns are made, so I don't know, a mech robot. It's got to be something expandable, something that you can start making really small and you can end making really big. It could just be a bunch of random garbage. Like, you can, like, have, like, an order sheet, but the more random it is, the more sprite work I'm going to have to do, and So, keeping it within, like, similar kind of things that you're making, but it just grows to be bigger. Okay, so what's a thing like that? What's a thing that you can have small of and you can have big of? Like, question is, once final product prepared, what's that? You sell it and then, like, it's sold. You're just in charge of manufacturing. You're not in charge of, like, actually, like, distributing it or anything. You just get money or something once it's sold. And money will probably be like the big resource. Like, money is the resource. Like, that's what you're trying to hold on to. Like, oh, I'm short on money. We gotta, like, make some budget cuts. Maybe it's not the best factory, but we gotta make some short-term cuts to make money now so we can have a better factory later, even though it will hurt you in the future. So that's, like, a really good, like, predicament that you have to have. Game about Alice in Wonderland. I mean, yeah, like, about becoming big and small, like, changing size, like, as you go. Like, that feels very, like, superliminal, like, but I feel like we've gone too far down this route. Also, hi, Callahan, I didn't notice. Did you say anything already? Okay, yeah, well, welcome into the chat. Okay, so, yeah, like, money is a big resource, like, space is probably going to be a bit, or, like, just, like, space. Like, these are going to be resources. Like, resource, management, like, that's gonna be a big thing, probably. You gotta, like, make sure you got good money, you got good space, and you gotta have, like, speed. It's gotta be coming out, like, speedily. Like, it's got to be an obvious, like, production line. Like, you start making these, you make them into these, you make them into these. So it obviously needs to become more complicated as it goes. So, factory underground. Yeah, it's good. Like, well, it could just be a warehouse. You like dig out the warehouse, but it also could be a good idea when it would be an underground factory, where it's like you dig out. Oh wait, I thought of an even better idea. Like, because when you're making an because again, big dilemma when it comes to game design is: do you want to make the game top down, or do you want to make the game like side scrolling? This is side scrolling, or do you want to make it top down? And that's a big question. Factory building games very commonly are top down, but what if we made a game that's like side on factory? And it's like, perhaps like gravity could be like a fundamental thing in your factory. Like, you have to make sure that the production chain keeps going down. But the digger and it's easier to go down. Like, you can go up, but up is costly. It's like costs power to transport things up or something. Power could be another resource. Like, you know, power could be a resource, but that's linked to money. So you don't want to like make things going up like as much. You want them to be going down. But like the deeper you go, the hotter it gets or something, or the tougher the rock gets. So it's better to expand sideways or something. I don't know. Wait, Infinifactory? What's that? I heard that before. Infinifactory. That's... What is this? Yeah, this is more like a 3D factory building, yeah. I don't really know enough about this game to say anything. See that, like, so, but that seems like it's deviating a bit too much, like, from the ideas of, like, it getting bigger as it goes. I do like the idea of, like, you have to expend money to, like, dig out the world, so, and costs are, like, because there's got to be some kind of, like, I don't know, you're paying rent or something. Like, there's got to be some driving force. It's like, you got to make your rent payments, guys. Like, you can't just, like, or the materials cost more and more as time goes on. So the longer you wait around, the, you know, less profit you're going to be making. So you have to be, yeah, like, material costs go up, or you have to pay rent or something. I don't know. But to make bigger, better products, you need a more complicated factory. But to make a more complicated factory, you need more space. But to get more space, you need money to dig out the space, buy a bigger building, something. I do like the idea of, like, you can choose exactly which tiles you want to dig out. So it could be like, what's that, oxygen not included, where it's like, you just kind of like drag out a big region. You're like, okay, I want this region, and I want it to be mined out. Like, and then you got, like, workers that are going to mine out the stuff or something. That's a good idea. Yeah, but I don't think resource extraction doesn't make sense. I don't think you need to be mining for resources. I think you should be, like, buying resources. Like, you pay money and you get, like, wood or something. Or you pay money and get stone. Or you pay money and get iron or something. And you need and the resources are going to cost more and more as time goes on. So you need to be, and eventually, yeah, because stock market, inflation, who knows. But yeah, and as time goes on, you need to be making better and better products with the materials, because eventually you're not going to be able to afford the materials anymore, and you're going to be, like, you lose at that point. So we're going to have to need something like a rent payment or something that you have to make. So if you start failing, like, there needs to be an obvious, like, cutoff. Like, okay, you've died or you failed. Sometimes it's like if you're playing, like, Factorio or something, the point at which you stop, once production stops, then the biters come and eat you. Or... if you're playing, like, you know, some kind of, like, factory building with, you know, monsters or something, you can't defend yourself anymore once you stop producing. Or it could just be like, you know, rent. You have to pay rent or something. Money and energy can be a source. You can make it so you have human workers that you need to pay and robot workers that cost energy. Yeah, that could definitely be good. But I think the energy is also, like, could be capped. Like, there's a cap to energy, or you have to, or there's increasing cost for more energy or something. So, like, the more energy that you want to have, the more cost it'll be or something, or there's got to be some drawback to energy besides just you have to pay for energy, because that would be stupid if it's just the same as pay. But like, because maybe you just get a certain amount of energy and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know. These have tons of stock over time. No, I think it's more like the materials just become more costly because inflation or something. Or just because game logic go burr. Like, it doesn't need to be a good reason. Okay, I think we can lock in the idea of factory building. No, I think I've committed enough to this that I think this is the direction I want to go. But the question we got to ask is, do we want to make it top-down or do we want to make it, like, side-scrolly gravity top-down? Do we want to have it like you're a person walking around building stuff, or do we want to have it you're a magic floaty head that can go anywhere at any time and build stuff however they want? Like, these are some questions we got to answer that are going to ripple throughout the entire game. Top-down fits more. Yeah, it does fit more, but again, we're trying to think outside the box. Can we make like a side game that works well? Probably not. I think it's probably better to go like, you know, top-down. That's probably the way to go. So then the question is like, so then are we gonna have like, do we buy bigger houses, like warehouses or whatever, or do we like dig out of an area? Because I like the idea of digging out an area from a gameplay side. Yeah, it's gonna be messy. Okay, so let's say no to that then. I think this is a little bit too messy. What did I click? Why is it so thin? Thank you. Okay, so this I think would be a little bit too complicated. Sell items to make to market like how individual market will go abundant. Yeah, maybe, but I want it to be kind of like the factory's just going by itself. I don't want you to have to micromanage your stuff and be like, oh, well, let's hold off on selling it. Like, I kind of want it to be just like it's selling for a consistent amount. Because we could do stock market, but I think that's needlessly complicated and it will make the game worse. I think it would be better for just to sell for consistent price, or the price just goes down over time. There's a straight decrease in price, or we can make it an increase in material cost or a decrease in selling price. Either way, I feel like it's the same kind of problem. Is, okay, we can't keep doing this, we have to sell something more expensive. That's a thing. The question I'm stuck on right now is, do we have it like you're in a mine and you gotta like mine out the walls to make it bigger, or do we make it like you just buy big chunks of your factory all at once? Like, okay, let's buy the new region of our factory. I think buying regions of the factory is more constraining and would lead to less weird shenanigans, because I feel like there will be a lot of shenanigans where it's like, oh, I'll just dig out only the squares that I need, and like that seems really lame and not fun. So I think it'd be better to buy in discrete chunks, so like I can control as a game developer more so how it progresses, instead of you being able to just kind of like cheese it by like digging in a really weird way. 8 to 12 in gold goes for 300 to 600. I mean, I could give it like small little variation, just, you know, because why not? But like I don't think that's like too worthwhile to think about. Okay, let's go back to actually programming. Turns out we don't really need a player, so this can go. Oh, I'll keep it in there just for now. Just but we need cam controls. We can't. I'm not going with a player. This is I need full-on camera controls. So time for camera controls. Okay, let's create a. Okay, let me take off this glove. I don't need it anymore. Gloves off. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, preset. Yeah. Camera. Okay, let's create a debug sprite. SPR. DBG. Cam. Create group. Debug. Add a camera. Make it like something like make it kind of blue, I guess, like this. Cam. There we go. That's what the camera looks like. Okay, and make it invisible. Well, no, we want it to be invisible, but we want it to not draw itself. So let's do that. Effector games are actually side scroll. I mean, there's oxygen not included. That's really the only one. Okay. It's the best drawing you've seen. Crazy. Don't worry, it won't be like that for a long time. Okay, so let me quickly dump this into the viewport that I made. I didn't bother explaining this before, but a viewport is basically, we need to be persistent. So let me change this from room 1 to room create. Okay. Get rid of all of that. Put in the cursor. Put in the camera. And we're going to want to... actually, maybe put it in the center of the room. Right after we create this room, we're going to go into a different room. Duplicate this room. Go to room warehouse. So the moment that the game is created, we're going to immediately go to room warehouse. There we go. So that can be our warehouse room or something. Like Fallout Shelter, same kind of game. I don't know. Sandbox, not size. I guess, yeah, so again, scale. We want to think of scale, not sandboxiness. But though sandboxiness is great because it's basically free content for the game. The more creative your player can get, the more free content you can squeeze out of it that you don't have to worry about. Why did I create a create event? I guess just like x equals width over 2. Okay, so let me just... No, don't do that. So we want it to just snap to the middle of the room to start with. I can also make camera smoothing. What's the best way to make camera smoothing? So what we do for this is I need to think. My head is going too fast right now. I need some water. It would be in here anyway. Space Factory, crazy. I think the theme that I want to go for, though, is more of a build construction-y theme, not like a brick factory, not like a space factory. Because I feel like that's more in tune with the theme of built, not space. So okay. Yeah, does Steinax error? I'm not done yet. Okay, so what do I? Okay, this camera needs to follow our input. So let me just yoink this. And then delete the player. Okay, we don't need the player anymore. Yoink. And then we have SPD equals 2. And then, yeah, we can move the camera around. We don't need collision because we're not colliding with anything, obviously. But I do need, not if collision rectangle, but if we need to not move out of the room. That's, though we wouldn't do it like that. We say x equals, so let me teach you how to keep things in the room. I should have done this before. Oh, it could be, yeah, in space of, there are no walls. You just have to continue building outwards. That's a good idea, actually, of, it's not about building the factory to... Oh, I just realized my music is off. It's not about building the factory to scale. Did my headphones died. Hold on. Yeah. It's not just about making the factory production to scale. It's also about making the actual factory itself work. Like, so we have to expand it outwards, make like walkways or whatever, so that our like employees or whatever that we're paying to like build the factory can actually get to the places that we want them to go. Like, you know, to actually like build new stuff. We have to like build walkways and stuff. That's an interesting idea. So yeah, okay, the idea of it being in space. You know what? I'm actually, now that I think about it, that could be a good idea. Is you like have to make it, you have to build the factory so that it can scale itself physically, not just in production speed. I like it. I threw this egg. All right, let's get back to the camera. So the way you make a camera like this, first of all, I just realized the sprite is not centered properly. Let me put a dot in the up here. So what we want it to do is x is equal to x move, or no, we want x to be equal to clamp x plus x move between, and if you don't know what clamp does, it basically says if there's a value like x plus x move, and if it's inside or if it's outside of a range, it moves it into the range. That's all it does. And we want to clamp it between a minimum value and a maximum value, so that would be 0 plus, we want a screen width. So let's have screen width, or let's just say view width, and that's equal to camera get view width and then view height. Did I spell that right? I always spell height wrong. Okay, there we go. Imagine if my game blows up. I mean, that would be crazy, but best I can hope for probably is, like, you know, it gets into the video at the end, because that's the thing that can happen, is like he can put your game in the video, like, this is a game where you do this, and it's really good, or whatever. So yeah, we want view width, or let me just call it like cam width or something. That's more meaningful. Cam width and cam height. So we want it to be cam width over 2 and room width minus cam width over 2. So this will make sure that you can't leave the room with the camera. The heck is this song? Height. Height. Excellent. So let's give that a shot. I didn't make the room big enough to actually move. Oh, I need the camera. As yours, I don't care. Okay, there is no. Let's make the room big enough. Actually, do something. Room, warehouse. Let's make it bigger. Big room. Width. How big? How big should we make this room? Like. Okay, what are these songs in the soundtrack? Can we get something more peaceful? Thank you. Width. Okay, how big do we make the room? Like 640 times 4. That, sure. 2560. by 1920. 2560 by 1920. There we go. Nice big old room. That's plenty of space. Though you can't tell anything's happening because I didn't put anything in there to actually do anything. My viewport is following the camera, and it is snapping properly. So let's have, let's create some, like, you can just place walls or something. There we go. That's a thing I can make. So step event, if keyboard check pressed VK, or no, MB left. So mouse button pressed. So if you're pressing left, instance create depth, and then what depth do we create it at? It doesn't matter because its depths get instantly set in the create event, so just like X, Y, depth. OJ. Okay, the Amori OST is kind of driving me a little crazy. You're wrong. Turn back to the drawing board. Wait, it is? No, it isn't. It means everything. No. Wait, there's a respite in here? Okay, you know what? I don't... The Omori OST is a bit too chaotic for me right now. I need something more comforting. Like the Deltarune OST. Deltarune OST, please. Be more comforting. Ah, no. Here we go. This is the real one-shot OST. Are there... By the way, I played one-shot, but the OST is not that good. I don't know. I don't remember a single strong. DMCA, yeah. How about no? I'm gonna say no about the DMCA. No. Okay, so yeah, we create an instance, and we want to snap it to the grid, so... Wait, is there a... Oh wait, I'm stupid. There's no... It's not an instant create grid. Don't create it here. X... how do you do this? Floor of X over 16 times 16 floor of Y over 6. What did I pressed F12? Whatever. Over 16 times 16. Dang it. Bring him back. Okay. Yeah, if you don't know what floor does, it basically cuts off any extra, like, bits. Like any kind of, like, rounding bits. So, like, 16.1 floor is 16. So, X divided by 16, basically... I guess I could... Oh, wait, no, I'm stupid. This is not how it works. I could just use div 16. X div 16. There's literally a function to do that. Y div 16. So if you don't know about this, oh gosh, that is not correct. Maybe div is not right. Oh, times 16. Times 16. Whoopsie. Y div 16 times 16. There we go. Now we can create some walls. Maybe I can also hold. Yeah, no, I think maybe I should be able to hold. Mouse pick button. If, but only create it if, like, and not in collision point XY OBJ wall false. That was not an O. So there's not a wall, do a thing. Okay. And then if and if you right click, then this is a bit more tricky, but we can call select is any wall that we're touching, and then instance destroy select. I was going to type going with spore type. Really? So now I can like draw a thing. Oh, it doesn't work very well. Also, the top of the room doesn't seem to work for some reason. That's weird. But I can also delete them. Oh, I can like, wait, what? Oh, for some reason I can create multiple. That shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't be able to... Oh, right, because I changed the... Back to automatic. Whoops. So now I can actually... Okay. Did that fix this problem? No, it didn't. So now I can draw stuff, and I can get rid of stuff. Excellent. Though obviously it's not perfect drawing. If you move too fast, it won't update. But there's ways to fix that. But I won't bother with that. Yeah, I actually kind of see. What are other people doing? Spore type games, you say? Let me just open up hashtag GMTK. What are people making? No, streams. Is anyone streaming this? Live. What are people making? They all have actual thumbnails. What in the world are you making? A pea shooter something. See, he actually has a cool whiteboard though. Gonna see what he's making. I have no idea. You know what? This is gonna take too long. You guys go spy for me. Go see what people are doing. I can't. Oh, I guess. Wait. People probably have some some promo on the Discord. I should see if anyone has. Progress pictures. Anyone? What are people making? Pigeons, vehicles. A capsule among us. A moving thing. Okay, I don't know what people are making. Looks really weird. A stickman, and I don't. What? Yeah, I do. I have a stickman right here. I just didn't use it because I don't need it. Okay, so yeah, we can create things and we can destroy things by clicking and deleting. So far, nothing too big yet. We need factory. How do we do factory? We could have a wire-based factory or a grid-based. I think grid-based factory makes more sense. So we need conveyor belts. What's the best way to make conveyor belts? I really like the space idea though, so let's try and keep that going. As you are and comes across the stream, only to be disappointed as you're also looking at what others Heart making. Yeah, that would be funny. I'm not doing that though. Wait. Oh, crazy. Okay, so we want to be able to make conveyors. So I actually have some conveyor sprites I can just import. Because, believe it or not, I tried to make a factory building game before, and it kind of fell apart. So, might as well reuse those. SBR conveyor. Okay, let me just import that, because I happen to have old stubs. This one. I had like multiple levels of conveyor too. Yeah, they look kind of like that. Do I have any ones that were finished? This is pretty bad. I swear I made better sprites than this. Or the bigger factory becomes the more product it produces, and it also starts to pollute the ocean. That's just real life. Yeah. Okay. So something like this. I'll just import this. This is what I've made before already. These just like conveyor things. Honestly, this is kind of terrible. I don't think I'm going to use this. I thought I would have made better stuff in the past. Okay. But I do like the idea though. Like just conveyor belts. I mean, I might as well use the... Okay, whatever. I can't go back now. Wait, what? This is not in Deltarune. Hometown Day, that's not a song. That's Chapter 3 content, which is not out yet, but okay, sure. It's amazing. Yep. Okay, so conveyor belt. Let's just make a... Actually, one thing I want to try real quick is just make like a... Like just make a big old space thing, like a really dark blue. That's not dark enough. Like really dark blue, and then just have some like some space. So we're in space. There we go. Make it tile. There we go. That looks kind of cool. Oh, I forgot I was making the camera. Oh wait, let me actually make the camera work. Where's the camera? Focus that much on art as the ideas quickly shift and change to... Yeah, art is one of the last things I make. But I need to make an art that's actually, like, somewhat workable. Wait, did I seriously line those 2 pixels up? Whatever. Okay. I can press D. This is not right. Oh, I didn't make the cam right. Whoopsie doopsie. The camera needs to have a big horizontal border, not -1. I swear -1 used to work. Maybe not. 960. Wait, that's not right. Just 480. Okay, that sort of works. Like, I can kind of move. That's not right, though. Ah, that's wrong. Okay. Fixed! What am I missing? Oh, the camera's being, needs to have a 100 or something. Yeah, that'll check. Should not be parented. Excellent. Now I can actually move. Ooh, that's a little choppy. That looks weird. Art, music, and the game itself, and the save and load system. Yeah, save and load system is actually, like, yeah. Save and load system pretty late into development. Music also pretty late into development. Art is kind of middle of the, like, I usually create some crappy art to begin with, and then either the crappy art will stay or the crappy art will not stay. It's just a matter of chance. The game, we're working on the game. Well, I'm working on kind of the systems right now. I guess I could just, here, I don't want to, how did I do it before? Let me just try to remind myself how the camera works. Where? Thank you. How do I make the camera work? If you're not paused. We're not following something like a player, though. Oh, I guess I need to move the camera to the player. Okay, you know what? I'm just copying this. I don't want to have to remake this. Just import this thing. This thing works perfectly fine. Wait, where did I? What's that other thing? Speed. Okay, I don't need that. Should be end step, huh? Okay. Not in draw event. Need that. End step event. Does all that. There we go. Amazing. We don't have a player though, so I'm gonna have to make it so it works without a player. Also, the sprite is named wrong. OST gives you PTSD. Yeah. Attack on Titan. Yeah. I have a bunch of like things that like make your camera zoom out and stuff, but I don't need those. Or in my other game that this came from. So we don't need this. I just need a following an object to follow. Because I'm not. Well, I guess I need to change the size of the object too. Oh, this song is great. Darkness falls. Wait, why are these the same? Whatever, I don't. Okay. Okay, if you're following something, do the thing. If no control, well, this obviously doesn't matter. I do want the size to change, but it's not going to be. That's the width of the camera. Okay. So I can just have a size that I want the camera to be, and it will. Also, I'm not going to have it follow in an object. I'm just going to have it follow a position that I just arbitrarily determine. Like where it wants to go. So I'm just going to call that follow X, follow Y, instead of having it follow like a player or something. So it's not going to do that. Okay. I can also have a pause. Yeah, I probably want to have a pause menu, so I'll keep that there. It's not going to have a controllers. It's not going to be... Okay, I didn't need a lot of this, actually. So it's going to decrease by X minus the follow amount times the close. Yeah, okay, that checks out. And then the size and position are going to move toward whatever size we want it to be, which is just zoom amount. Okay. We don't need this because we're not following anything. I need a default size though. How did I declare that before? I guess, oh, that's this, okay. Follow. X equals I declare that's the default camera height, the following position. I should probably have you be able to move first. Follow X equals clamp, follow X plus I hate the movement thing. Okay. Okay, var x. Oh, so var, when you put var before something, it means it will delete it after it's done using it. So it's like a temporary thing, just to, you know, free memory faster. Move x is equal to mouse check button. I'm just gonna make it the arrow keys. PK minus mouse. No, why am I making it mouse check? What am I doing? Keyboard check. VK right minus keyboard check. VK left. Excellent. And then we do the same times. I'm gonna call it cam or like move speed like 2 or something. Move speed is equal to that. Oh no, that's equal to, okay. I think I'm kind of losing my mind here. Okay, follow x equals clamp follow x plus move x. Wait, what is this doing? I'm starting to not remember how this works. How does this work? Okay, I'm starting to lose brain cells right now. That might mean I need to take a break from this to like digest everything. I'm going for 2 hours. It's just not that long. Maybe I should just turn off the music. Maybe this music is not helping me. Okay. Follow x equals clamp follow x plus move x. Between well, this is what it's doing. Yeah, I'm basically doing, oh, that's what this is doing. It's moving you to where you're going. Okay, yeah. Instead of follow x or plus move x. Excellent. So then that will clamp you, will keep you inside of the room. Okay, excellent. Follow y. Okay. Okay, wait. So this moves. Right. So this, I need to label this because I'm getting confused. So this is the control follow position with keyboard. This is close in on follow position. This here is move viewport to object position. Okay, there we go. That was wrong. Oh, right, because pause is not a real thing. Oh, I forgot to multiply that. I'm set it using as a function, which is wrong. I need to actually register a pause thing as a thing that exists. Global dot pause equals false. Okay, we're not paused at the beginning. Okay. So now I can move the camera. Why is it moving only diagonally? I don't know. I didn't copy this. Of course I didn't. Perfect. Amazing. Okay, so now we can actually move the camera. Excellent. That's what we want. And then we can draw some stuff, erase some stuff. Why is it still drawing in the back like that? Oh, I guess because all of the y is a really big negative number. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Let me fix that. 100 plus room height minus y. Now, oh, it's drawing behind the background. Let's fix that. Background depth is actually going to be 10,000. So they don't get drawn behind the background. Nice. Now they're not getting drawn behind the background. And now I can go along. Let's build stuff. And now there's the cool like camera scrolling and stuff going on. Awesome. I also kind of want to make it full screen. That's also probably a good idea. Key pressed. Like, what's a good button? Like escape. Full. Set full screen. Window get full screen. There we go. Now we can make it or not. If the window is not full screen, it gets set to yes full screen, right? Am I stupid? Can I not make it escape? Is that not allowed? If I make it control. No, that's bad. Function F4. F4 for full screen, right? Yeah. There we go. F4. It does not do anything. What am I doing? Why is this not working? Why is this not setting the full screen status of the window? Am I... Oh wait, I can just turn that on. What? Why is it like physically incapable of becoming full screen? Am I going crazy? What? Did I not click apply? Or I didn't mean that one. Maybe okay. Hello? Full screen switching. What? Why? Why can I not make it full screen? I'm pressing the button and it's not doing anything. The full screen switchy button is not working. Hello, Gamemaker? Can we... Do I have to allow that? I don't really want to allow window resizing though. There we go. Why was that so hard? Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, there we go. Now we can do stuff. This is too slow. I think we need to increase the speed. Move speed. 4 move speed. Let's go. Fast. Now I can still place them at the same speed that we move. Look at that. And I'll probably make it so I can like scroll to zoom out too. I'll try to add that. I think I need to take a break though, because this is like, well, okay, I think I can give it a little more. Keep going a little bit. But my mind is starting to melt right now. Probably because there's bright light in my face. You know what? I'm turning this off. He's gonna look at me in shadow. You know, I think I don't know. No one's really in the stream right now, so I think I'm gonna have to stop the stream and just kind of. There we go. That was the amazing reveal today. I think we had some good educational content here. We had some good, you know, show off of our ideas, work around. But a lot of the stuff to start off with is kind of boring, like to watch, I guess. And my mind is melting right now, and I don't. And I think me having to stream at the same time is kind of causing me to do worse than I normally would. So I'm going to try and like pull together some kind of actual gameplay, and then come back like tomorrow when I got something. Oh, yeah, we'll see what I have by tomorrow, huh? And then we can kind of work together to see what kind of direction to continue into. I think like more of like, we don't need to make a super long stream. We can kind of just, you know, have little check-ins and stuff. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna stop right now. Okay, so that was day 1 of GMTK that you get to see. I'm gonna obviously still be coding for another 5 hours. Who knows? But yeah, I'm just gonna maybe take a walk or something, clear my head, and then keep going. But I obviously am not going to keep streaming. So, for all you people here, there maybe are like 2 people here. I don't really know. Make sure to follow, subscribe, so you can know when the next one is coming, so you can see the progress that gets made. And also, if you want to promote the GMTK Game Jam, link to it is in the description if you want to or participate yourself. Or if you just want to spread my stream around, subscribing, watching, all helps out. You can, of course, leave a comment, come in my Discord and talk. If you think you got any good ideas, I'd love to hear them, definitely. So, come on down. Anyway, that'll be it for today. Hope you have a good day.